and welcome to the first episode of Vegas Variety,
where we'll talk to people from all walks of life, sharing their stories, tips, tricks, life hacks, and so much more.
I'm Anna.
I'm Lanie.
And I'm Christine.
Yay!
How are you guys doing? How are you guys doing today?
I'm doing awesome. I'm really happy to see all three of us back together.
Long time ago, we did To Each Her Own. So it's really nice to have each other
short talk
together again, although we're separated, but still together.
Yes.
So what's been happening with you two?
Pretty busy at home with the kids. And, now that we have to be at home, they're not at school, which means school at home. That's a lot of fun.
Right? We all of a sudden became wives and mothers and teachers all at the same time.
Yes.
But Christine, you're a teacher by profession, right?
Yes, but it was preschool. So this is a
That's
little bit
considered teaching.
Yes, it is teaching. But right now you have what grade are they in?
So we have Aiden, who's the eldest. He's in 6th grade. And then we have Gracie, 2nd grade. And then Emma, she's 2. So it's a bit challenging. Aiden, the sixth grader, he can kind of do his schoolwork all on his own. But Gracie, I have to manage the schoolwork plus how to even use the computer.
Right. At 6 years old, they're not that tech savvy as of yet.
So that's I always wondered how homeschooling would be, You still have to follow, I can imagine you still have to follow a curriculum. They have to log into with their teachers, right?
Yes.
And I don't know about your teachers, but so my daughter, Megan, she's in 4th grade. So her teacher hasn't, I guess because she's a little young, but she hasn't been that supportive on this distance learning.
I think overall, maybe try not to stress over it because I think this is a new thing for everybody, for the teachers too. And I think the grades are going to be so lenient after all this. Everyone's going to get a pass. Even in life, we're all going to get a pass in life right now.
Right. I mean, my daughter, she's a junior in high school. So they pretty much said, whatever your grade was, the 3rd quarter, that's going to be your final grade till the end of the year, because it's just going to be too difficult for them to really track and grade them since the stay-at-home mandate. So it is. I mean, hopefully they were doing okay before that. But I think that they were told too that they can still turn in work to make up. Like if, let's say, their grades weren't as great that 3rd quarter, they can still turn in work to make it better. So that's good.
Yeah.
So what other things have you guys been doing since, the stay-at-home mandate, or what kind of things have you learned to do? There's so many things that you see all these people posting how they started baking and they started doing DIY projects and stuff like that. Christine, I know you always do DIY projects.
Well, I've been baking more, but that's not good because since you're home, you're eating more.
I know.
Yes. I made Rice Krispie treats the other day, Christine, and I thought of you because I love your Rice Krispie treats.
Did it turn out good?
It turned out decent, yeah. I'm like the only one eating it in the house, though.
I want to try to make this 2-ingredient chocolate cake that I saw. One of our, one of the correspondents for Digital Nest, they did it. It was just eggs and chocolate chip.
Oh, wow.
I still have yet to
try.
That. And of course.
But what have you been? What kind of recipes have you been baking, Christine?
Banana muffins. We did coffee cake. I don't want you guys to feel like
all those.
Man, I'm not baking, But those are recipes that I've always made anyway. But now I just feel like there's more time, And it's it's also a good kind of like a math lesson for the kids, math and science, because they can help measuring and
Oh, that's good. Like the quarter and the cup and
the
ounces.
But you both are working still,
converting.
Right?
Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. I still have to go to work. some days I'm here at home working remotely. So it's even harder because my husband sometimes he doesn't go into work, so it's hard to be motivated to go to work when you know everybody else is
Oh, yeah.
home.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
but
I'm still working from home. I've started to work from home and I actually enjoy it because I don't have to worry about the morning rush, getting the
Mm.
kids to school in the morning and then having to get ready myself and then, having to commute to work. So I'm really thankful that I don't have to go through all that.
yeah. So, I mean, if we just look at the positive things since the stay-at-home mandate, there's actually been a lot, right? I mean, you
Mhm.
don't have to drive to work every day, so you save money on gas. You have more time because you don't have to get ready. I mean, unless, like for me, like most of the time I'm working in my pajamas. Unless I have a meeting, then of course I have to brush my teeth and brush my hair at least. So a lot of positive things, since a lot of the positive things that we can focus on, which helps us manage our stress, which we'll
Mm.
talk about right after we come back from break. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi guys, welcome back. We're still here with Anna and Christine talking to you a little bit about how we manage stress these days.
I think that's the key is that these days of quarantine and whatnot and this virus is that it is a scary time. It's a time of fear and worry. So being stressed, I think, is accepted. I think is natural. We should feel stressed. It is stressful. But I think what I keep in mind is I keep in mind my role. So like for us three, we're mothers, right? Mostly we're mothers. That's our big role. And I don't know if you guys notice that whatever your energy is, whatever you're feeling, it will affect your whole house.
Oh,
So if
that's
you're
so
feeling
true.
stressed or mad or irritable, right? Or you notice your
Yeah.
husband's kind of like walking on eggshells and your kids are kind of like fighting, it's because of our mood. So I just really try to pay attention to that. I try to, even though internally I'm feeling worried, I just try to maintain a calm um, mood and energy at home. And I think it really helps the whole family kind of like
Yeah.
join along with that.
No, that's so true. Like even when my kids were small and let's say somebody falls, so it's the energy that you give to them. Like if you panic and you say,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, are you okay?" Then they're going to be more scared and they're going to cry more. But if
Yes.
if
Or
you say,
calm.
"Oh, you're okay," I used to say, my kids tell me now like I was the worst mother because I say, "Are you bleeding? Can you move your arm? You're good. Okay, then you're good. Get up. You're fine." But yeah, I totally agree. It's really how we carry ourselves, like you said. Like if we're stressed, then everybody else will be stressed.
Yes, yeah.
So
Yes.
It's pretty powerful if you think about it, though. We have the power to set the tone
yes,
of our whole family.
Yes.
So take advantage of it. Try to be positive and but I
That's
also don't
something
mean
that,
hide
yeah.
things either. I don't mean like pretend to your kids that nothing's wrong because they do need to know, but and also set an example.
right.
Right. That's one thing that I always kind of keep in mind as well, that I always try to just keep centered and focused on what I can control in life because
Mm-hmm.
no matter what, there's nothing that we can do about the whole quarantine issue. But if we can matter how, and I like the whole mantra about being stuck at home, but thinking of it as being safe at home, so we can be safe with our family and just being able to keep positive and being able to, create memories that how did we like 20 years down the line, how did
Mm-hmm.
we react during this quarantine time? What do we
Mm-hmm.
do
Exactly.
with this time that we had?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
just make the best of it. But I do have to admit though, like because like for me, like I mentioned earlier, I'm still working, so it's just busy still for me, right? And then you
Mm-hmm.
have the added stress of when you go to the store and you
Yeah.
have to deal with having to stand in line and seeing people wearing masks. Oh, and I have to tell you, when I go to this one store, just even from the parking lot, they have this blaring
Oh,
speaker. Like it just reminds you of like World War, when you can just the person speaking,
oh
uh,
yeah.
wear your mask, you know,
Keep the
um,
social
keep the social
distancing.
distancing.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
it doesn't help me. Like I
No.
actually one time I told my daughter, I'm like, I'm gonna go tell the worker that you know what, this is not helping me.
You
This is
should.
this
You
is me
should.
But
making me more anxious.
but
So
then again, I think that they have those rules and guidelines that were mandated by the government, because
right.
you see even in the stores where they put the squares down on the floors of where you're supposed to position yourself in
Mhm.
line.
Yes.
So maybe there's some protocol that they were following.
Oh yeah. No, I
Mhm.
know. I get it. But I'm just saying, like, for me, that doesn't help. And there are times when, like, for me, I have to be honest, like when it gets to be too much, because we're only human. So what
Mhm.
I do to kind of to handle that is I'll go, like, if I'm at work, I'll take a break, I'll go in the car and I'll just, you know,
Get away.
whatever it takes, like meditate,
Mhm.
uh, close my eyes, do some deep breathing, pray, and sometimes I just, I cry a little, and it
You need
helps
to,
me.
yeah.
That's
Mhm.
that's
Yeah,
the way I
crying
that's
is
the way
okay.
I deal with it, and that helps me. That helps me, and then it kind of helps me to refocus.
I think that's the key, like facing this situation is really, I know it sounds kind of cliche, but really do you.
Mhm.
Do what makes you feel at peace. If like for me, I limit all that the input and anything that's a stressor. I mean, I stay informed, I'm
Right.
gonna find out like what like a up to date kind of information, but that's it. I'm not gonna check anymore for that day or that week. I even limit on social media. I even limit the people that I follow now. I unfollow or I mute those that are just stirring up fear, because fear is
Yes.
not helping anybody.
Oh,
We just
yes.
got to
That's so
peacefully go
true.
No,
through
not
this
at
and let the
all.
time pass. Oh man.
That's so true. Like, I
Right.
do want to be informed. So,
Hmm.
but there are days when I just not even look at anything. Like, I don't
Uh-huh.
read any news. Um, I'm not gonna lie, there's not many days, but I do. But there is, I do take one day not to like look at anything, and then I'll catch up
Hmm.
again. But it just
Hmm.
gives your time. We need that, like
Yes.
information overload. You just need to
Hmm.
sometimes step back and just, think of other things that you can occupy yourselves. I mean, a lot of
Hmm.
people we see, or even just to hear from our friends, that they spend more quality time with their family because of the extra time. So a lot of
Hmm.
other ways that we can do to manage our stress that way. Speaking of family time, like what is it that you've done that you didn't have time before?
It's just it's so surreal that this is our life, that we have, like what you're saying, so much time together, so much time. And then I think the biggest change is that there's no rush. You just sit there. You're just sitting there together, spending time together. You don't have to worry, oh my gosh, in 30 minutes we gotta head out the door. It's just,
Right.
I think that's what I
We're not
savor or I
rushing.
enjoy the most.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not rushing. We're
So,
just being together, and we
right.
have
So,
time to do house
yes.
projects, time to talk to each other. Me and my husband have more time to just sit after the kids go to bed and just without feeling stressed, just talk to each other. And I don't know, it's a lot of time together. It's
It
nice.
is. It is a lot of time.
Yeah. So because I'm still working from home, so during my break time, I actually go check up on the kids. So I kind of just check up on them and see that they're okay, and then I get back to what I'm doing. But I'll also, another big thing that I've done with them that's a little bit different is I ask them, how do you guys want to remember this quarantine time? If you guys want to remember it where you're just doing your own thing, because my son is totally into his video games, my daughter is into her TikTok. So, do you guys want to just hang out and just do that? That's totally fine, because I have stuff to do too, or do you want to set aside some time, maybe after dinner, and then we can have some family time? So I turned the table around, like, what do you guys want to do? And then that's when
Mhm.
they started saying, well, I want to my daughter wants to bake, so she tried that. And then my son's like, well, let's watch this movie together. So that's been working out for us.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
See, getting to know, because now that we have time, um, you actually take the time to talk to our kid.
yes.
No,
I
I
think
even
it's
told my teenager, I go, do you want to look back if it's okay that mom asked you what you want to do? Not like that she didn't care.
don't ever tell me I never asked you what you wanted to do.
Exactly.
Basically. And
I
Yes.
think I read.
speaking of stress too, like it's important for us, maybe, we take for granted like what our kids really are feeling, um
Mhm.
that's one of the things, like especially teenagers. I have a teenager too, so um it's just a natural thing that they don't tend to tell you really how they feel. They tend to maybe tell their friends. So it's also good that we ask them manage that stress.
Exactly. My teenager is like, he's kind of thinking, oh, it's fine. If we get it, we get it. I was like, oh my goodness. But of course, taking the precautions to be able to get this virus. So it's funny how they're molding into their independent minds, but at the same time, you just want to.
Mold it still.
Mold it for them.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
Christine, you're lucky because your kids are still elementary age.
I know.
So you could
They're
definitely
still moldable. I can still have an
moldable.
impression on them.
What do they say about all this, Christine? I'm
Yeah.
curious.
So
What
the
do they say?
teachers, they asked, actually, sorry, Gracie's teacher, she's such a, you think I'm positive, right? She's really positive, and every day she sends a morning message with a positive, or like, reminder. And she told the kids the other day, don't forget to tell your mom and dad how you're feeling. You might be feeling stressed too, and that's
Oh,
okay. So tell your mom and dad. So then I asked them, I said, Gracie, so how do you feel about everything? Do you feel, any sad feelings? She's like, I miss my friends. I'm like, okay,
yes.
that's your only stress. And then Aiden, he's like, I'm just glad we're not at school. I'm like, okay.
Oh,
So you see, I mean, that's the thing, is that it's so easy to look out and see what's happening with the world and get
Mhm.
overwhelmed by it and stress and have fear. But then when you look at your kids, they're truly unfazed. And then you remind yourself life is still going on.
Yes.
Your family is still going, your kids are living as if there's nothing going on. So go ahead, go along with that train and follow along with them and enjoy this time.
And it goes back to what you were saying earlier. It's what you projected them to. So, and I'm sure that has
Hmm.
a lot to do with it.
But I think it's key, like what we're talking about here, is that you do have to relieve stress, because even though we look okay and we're smiling and our kids are still fine, there is still stress. So I think it's important to, like, I love what you said, Anna, about that you go to your car and then you just take some time for yourself and
Yeah. I mean,
relax
you
and
have to. You have to. Otherwise, it's not good to keep things bottled up inside, because it's just
hmm
it's not good for your health. It's not good mentally,
no.
right? Because when you're stressed,
hmm
stress can do so much to your body. So
hmm
it's really good to be able to vent, to release it. And
yeah.
there's always um, professional help that you can seek out to for those of you, um, because it is a fact that some people may not be able to manage stress as good as others. So make sure that
hmm
you know who to reach out to. Start
oh
with your
yes.
healthcare provider, and
Mhm.
they can always, for those of you our viewers, they can always direct you to who or where you can call to get help.
Mhm.
So,
And I think
and
it's important too to have a good support system also, in your home. Like, for example, when this first started happening, I was getting really, because I naturally have a bit of anxiety.
I can't
So it
tell
was
you're so
getting to
calm.
me. I know. That's what I don't want people to think, that I'm just naturally calm and like worry free, because I'm not. I am naturally a worry wart, and I overthink things. And in the beginning, I was reading everything, and it was like information overload that I had to talk to my husband, because he is in my support circle. I had to talk to him and vent it all out, and he helped me to see things clearer. And then that's when I started to incorporating stress, relieving stress mechanisms.
and deciding, and see, that's good. You decided, look, I mean, me reading all this stuff is just, it's gonna make it
Not
worse for
helping.
me. So at least you were able to already see that and
Yes.
change it, right?
Yes.
So whatever it takes, like you said earlier, it's what's going to help you, and what helps you sometimes may not work for another. So it's just whatever, we have to find what's going to work for us.
Yes, exactly.
And stick with it. So, all right. Well, when we come back, we'll continue to chat with each other. And for those of you, our viewers, tell us in the comments below what you've tried to help you relieve some of your stress that you're going through, some of the tips that maybe you can share with all of us. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Vegas Variety. Before we went back to break, we were talking about stress management and how to manage this time in quarantine. And just some things that we talked about were that, choose whatever you want to do that creates more peace in your life and that helps you get through this time. Stress is normal, but seek out someone that's close to you, or if you need to, seek out professional help, like from your doctor, if you need some help managing the stress, because it is stressful, but we shouldn't have to live in that type of feeling for very long. So now,
and don't forget, and don't forget that we always have control over how we're feeling, so we can help manage our own stress.
And I know, sorry, you just reminded me of something. I know that we're done with that topic, but you just reminded me that a thing that I do every day is I say, I kind of say like a mantra for my day. And the one thing that I say to myself is, I need to focus on what I can control, which are my thoughts, my feelings, and my actions, because that's the only things you can control. So.
Exactly. Can't control everything else that's happening. Can't control the news and everything that you hear. So, well, actually, you can tune out.
Yeah.
Yes,
turn it off.
Definitely. I definitely limit my news, news that I watch.
Oh, yes. Okay, so now let's go on to something really fun, really quickly. We're going to do a quick round of questions, and don't even think, okay? Just give me your answer right as soon as I say it. Okay, here we go. First question. What is a food that you miss since being stuck at home or safe at home?
Pho.
Oh.
Me. Is it?
I miss Korean barbecue. Being able to go out and grill and Korean barbecue.
Mine is so I don't even know if mine's considered a food, but I miss boba. I just want to drink boba.
That's right, boba. Boba was my second thing, so.
Yes, I actually was craving boba so much that I went to the store and bought the bobas, and we actually boiled it on our own. So
Did it taste good?
It did. I actually bought
good.
the canned iced tea. So it tastes the same.
All right. What about first thing you'll do when the quarantine is over?
Go to Target and then randomly touch everything. touch.
It's so funny because my daughter, when we were at the store, she's like, "Can you please quit touching things?" Because I pick up something and I bring it down. She's like, "Don't touch anything." It's funny how you said that. I'm gonna go for Korean barbecue.
Oh.
All right. I think the first thing that I'm gonna do is actually check up on my mom, because I'm like, "Mom, you can't come over." Or so she's like, "But I'm your mom." I'm like, "But I don't know where you've been." So I'm gonna check up on my mom.
You still at least text her though, right? Or call her.
I do.
Okay.
I've actually been her tech support and everything, so it's a bit challenging. WebEx. Yes, I've been her tech support over the
Oh.
phone.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that, but now like a lot more people, even the older ones, are learning how to, you know, to be tech savvy, to do WebEx, to do Zoom, Skype.
See, another benefit to this
Yes.
time.
Another benefit of this.
God help us all.
Yeah.
It's very challenging, and to have patience when dealing with the technologies. Like, how do you press the button, or how do you make your phone? It's just
Yeah.
funny.
Right.
So just having
Mhm.
patience.
Yes.
You mentioned that. I feel old sometimes when I don't know something about my phone. Like I was asking my daughter about a power director editing on your phone. That's a free app. So when I was asking her about it, and she's telling me, I felt old because I didn't know how to maneuver through it. So now I know how my mom feels, you know, about those tech things. So we have to reminds us that we have to be more patient and
Yes.
just be more understanding.
Yes.
So,
All right.
so
Third
before
question.
we go, go
Do we
ahead.
have enough question for the third question? All right. Since we're all, safe at home, I'm doing a lot of binge watching. So what is your go-to quarantine movie or show?
Oh gosh. Oh my
Go.
gosh. I just want to think. Well, I just started getting into this show on Hulu. It's called Little Big Liars. So it's, oh my gosh, it's about moms, like a group of moms and their lives. Oh, it's so captivating. I love
Is
it.
that the one with Reese Witherspoon?
Yes, and Nicole
Ah.
Kidman. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
It's
Yes.
I did
intense.
hear about that, but I haven't started watching it. So it's a
Oh,
series.
it's good. Yes.
Series?
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah, I haven't started watching that. I have to be uh, honest that I just finished watching a K drama, Crash.
Oh gosh.
Yay! Which did you
And
watch?
I am still going back and watching my favorite parts.
Oh wow.
That's my go-to right now. That kind of helps me as I wind down at
Mhm.
night. I go back to watch my favorite part. So there you go.
You didn't say the name of the show. What was it?
Crash Landing on You.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yep, Crash Landing on You. So
Yes.
all right. Well,
Okay.
we thank you guys for joining us in the first episode of Vegas Variety. We look forward to sharing more time with you, more stories, more tips that we can share with you. And before we go, I'm going to leave you with my takeaway, or my tip for the day would be to continue to stay positive. I know that's something that we've been hearing every day, probably more than once a day from everybody, from social media, from the news. And so hopefully we do take it to heart, find the things that keeps you positive.
So my takeaway, or just final thought, I want to be able to just say that we're all going through this together. We all have our different scenarios. Everybody's home, but let's think about each other and see and be sensitive to each other's reactions, whether it be positive or high energy negative. We have to just keep each other's thoughts in mind and be considerate of everyone else's feelings.
And mine, like it goes perfectly with yours, is just choose peace. We don't have to like focus on anything more than the other. Just choose peace, whatever that means for you. Peace might be going on reading the news. Peace might mean, totally staying away from it. So do whatever is peaceful for you.
Everybody should do you.
Yes.
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 That's Christine's thing. Just be you.
Yes, just do your
Do
thing. It's
you
okay.
and
Yes.
take some time for you, the me
Yes.
time, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again next time. I'm Anna.
I'm Lanie.
And I'm Christine. Thanks, guys.
Thank you and take care, everybody.
Bye. Be safe.